Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Charlotte Foley and a builder in Accra, Ghana. Today I'm going to talk about how we fixed the road leading to our home. This is a problem that most homeowners in Ghana face. So first off, we started with groundworks. We had to demarcate the boundaries we'll be working on. So first we laid block work all the way to the end. This road was very bad. The rain had eroded it so much, which made driving unbearable. We are downhill, making all the debris from the top wash down to our end and into the gutters, clogging it. With the groundworks, we filled most parts of the road that were badly eroded, and then we compacted using the plate compactor. We poured water onto the ground before compaction. This helps get rid of air voids in the soil, making it denser and easier to compact. We ordered for boulders, the bigger sized chippings used for construction because they are stronger. At the end of this video, I'm going to give the list of materials we bought and the prices, also the cost of the labor. So we compare to the traditional way and then what we did. So the plan was to lay the boulders onto the ground at about 4-inch intervals so that we pour the concrete over them. This way, we reduce the volume of concrete to be cast, making it way cheaper compared to casting a full 6-inch concrete. 2 days after the groundworks was done, it rained heavily. Everything from the top, more debris came from the top, with rubbish inclusive, came from the top, and then it just got stuck at the road, clogged the gutters, making all our effort and every money we put into this just went to waste. This is why I'm for homeowners association. I believe with HOAs we can have better development in our communities and also help curb a lot of these kind of issues. A typical example is a container in the middle of the road. Having neighbors with progressive mindsets in Ghana will help fix a lot of underdevelopment in the communities. A simple and flexible set of rules can be set, and some form of contributions can be made towards developing and maintaining the community because the government doesn't care about inner roads. Areas with inner roads are places of political interest, so we can't wait and trust the government to come and fix our roads. These are the kind of issues we face in almost every community in Ghana. This is not just my end, it's a common pattern everywhere. I believe we can have basic communal values with the HOA, not like the ones in the diaspora. I've seen videos where some people were fined for leaving their Christmas lights out for too long. No, not that type of HOA, but basic and flexible rules. When we first moved here, our neighbor used to burn rubbish right next to us. The whole house was filled with smoke just because they prefer not to pay for rubbish collection services. Imagine coming back home to a smoke filled house and all your stuff smell of smoke and also having to bear costs that can be equally absorbed by everyone in the community. So yes, I'm fully for homeowners association in Ghana. A neighbor went to submit a petition at the municipal assembly concerning the container to have it removed because it was in the way, and he was asked to present documentation indicating that he is a homeowner. Apparently, being a concerned citizen isn't enough to have someone reported. Those are the downsides of being in communities like this. This was the morning after the heavy rainfall. Everything had just washed down and the place was choked. So we got straight to work. We had to fill the heavily eroded areas with boulders and then we covered them with the laterite before bringing the roller compactor to come pass all over the area. So we did ground preparation in one day. We had to put pressure on them to finish everything that same day so we can start casting the following day. So this was the next day. We spaced out the boulders and then we started to mix. So the plan was to do everything quickly in the next 2 days before the rains come down again. So we tried checking the weather and it was good. So we had to take advantage and work. And another thing was people were not able to access their homes using their cars. So we had to work fast and talk to them about parking elsewhere for the next day or two, so that we have the concrete in better shape before they use the place. So this method is like plumb concrete. They usually use it in foundations, but we thought about it and we're like, okay, we can actually do this here to cut costs so that we don't have to cast so much concrete, because this is something we were doing on our own. It was later that some of the neighbors chipped in with a few bags of cement. So we were on a strict budget. When we started building in this area, there was no street lights. The place was always dark in the evening until we put street lights there. We actually lit the place up because the people here do not care. Like, they do not care about the street light. They don't care if the place is lit or not. The place was always dark. Anytime we had to leave site around 7 p.m., the place was so dark. We got to one street light there for starters, and look at how dark the place even looked. If the roads in front of your homes are as bad as mine, then this is your best bet. You're going to save more cost compared to doing the traditional 6-inch concrete, and also compared to doing the bituminous road. We actually contacted someone to get a quote for the bitumen, and it was way expensive considering the fact that we don't have proper drains in the area. We only have drains on one side of the lane, and there is a kiosk right in the middle of the road, coupled with the fact that there is crazy water pressure coming from the top once it rains. So that is what informed our decision to go with plumb type of concrete. So I'm going to give the cost breakdown, and I'll also leave them in the description box for the plumb type of concrete, which is 2.5-inch, and then the traditional, which is 6-inch concrete, so that you can appreciate the cost difference more. And also note that my concrete grade is not 15 or C20. I don't use 124 for my concrete mixes. So I know some people are going to say, oh, you still use a lot of concrete. That still costs a lot. That's because I use good concrete mix, because I want my concrete to be great and last. So I'm going to jump right into it now. For the plumb concrete method, we bought blocks, 72 pieces for 8 CD, 50 pesos a piece. That cost us 612 CDs. TNT cost 200 CDs. Sand and gravels we used for the concrete before we lay the blocks cost 740 CDs. Three bags of cement for 315 CDs. Laterite cost 1,080 CDs. We had to top up some places. Compaction, the initial one cost 600 CDs, and the roller compactor cost 1,500 CDs. Workmanship for groundworks cost 1,800 Ghana cedis. So a total for groundwork came to 6,847 cedis. For casting, we used 70 bags of 42.5 R cement, which came to a total of 8,610 cedis. 20 cubic of chippings, that's a trip of 3/8 size chippings. Chippings cost 4,000 Ghana cedis. We used 3/4 size because we wanted them to fill up the spaces in between the boulders properly. We used 20 cubic of granite stone. That's the boulders. We used 3,000. They cost 3,500 Ghana cedis. We bought 2 trips of single axle sand. That's about 14 to 15 cubic of sand, and that cost 3,000 Ghana cedis. And the labor forecasting came to 5,160 Ghana cedis. So the grand total came to 31,117 Ghana cedis. So that's how much we spent. So this is how much we would have spent if we were to go with a conventional method. Casting of 6-inch concrete, we would have used 172 bags of cement, which cost 21,156. 40 cubic of chippings, that's 2 trips, and that cost 8,000 Ghana cedis. 1.5 trip of sand, that cost 4,500 Ghana cedis, which comes to a total of 33,656. I estimated the labor to cost 8,000 Ghana cedis. So the grand total, including the groundworks, would have come to a total of 48,503 Ghana cedis. So that would have been the total cost for the whole project. Also note that with a plum type of concrete, you do not need to buy a full trip of the boulders. We still have a lot left, so half a trip of boulders would do. Another option we had was to use pavers. It's best to purchase like old pavers and then you repurpose them. But as at the time we were working, we didn't have pavers. We couldn't get used pavers to purchase. It was only after a week of casting and I had to go and work on some demolition for an old building only to find pavers all over the compound. So right now I have about 5,000 pieces of old pavers available. So if anyone is interested in purchasing old pavers for their frontage, I have 5,000 pieces available and it's going for 1 Ghana cedi a piece. New pavers cost around 4 Ghana cedis a piece now. So this is an absolute steal. And note that these pavers are in great shape, even better than what we bought for our home. All you need to do is have them laid and cleaned with a pressure jet, and you have a new looking surface. So thank you guys for watching my video. See you on the next one. Bye.